So very good afternoon to one not present here. I'm from Wellinger College. My name is Shikha Seth, and along with my team members, Nidhi, Acharya and Bhupen, we're the team White Collars Crew. So just like we were all talking about guerrilla marketing and how it's already creating a lot of eyeballs, the minute we got to know about this competition, we were equally intrigued with it. So we started off by identifying what is that a brand or a company really needs. And we identified that it's divided into two phases, one being the brand awareness that it needs, and then second is the cost of acquisitions, wherein they start really making the profits. So we started off our study by doing a literature review by a secondary and a primary research, where we did consult a lot of college students and a lot of industry experts who gave us knowledge from both aspects. Basis that research, we did a stakeholder mapping where we identified our key primary stakeholders and secondary stakeholders who were directly involved by the company and who would affect the company directly or indirectly. So the first one being the customers and consumers, which total up the sum of the job providers, seekers, and educational institutes, which will be later on explained in the various strategies that we will be proposing. The next is the internal employees, who would be the brand ambassadors for the company and also be referrals and who would generate a lot of word of mouth. The third being the marketing channels through which we will be proposing our guerrilla marketing strategies and the direct contact between the consumers and the company. The fourth being technology. We will be digging a little bit deeper with technology, wherein how the various technological aspects will help in creating all the strategies that we're building upon. And the last being the virtual audience, who will be engaging with us via various social media platforms, specifically the memes that are going viral nowadays. So moving on with it, we try to understand the industry and the company. I'll quickly take over through this. The strengths being that it's a one-stop solution that we've identified for the local and the part-time players and the seasonal players. The weakness that we majorly identified is the lack of awareness currently in the market and a lot of opportunity because the internet penetration is increasing, mobile penetration is increasing. However, there is still a lack of internet penetrations in the rural markets, which is one of the biggest threats. And also, a lot of other companies are coming up with value additional services, which is one thing that easy jobs will have to look up for. Basis this, we identified a few personas that would be more relatable and identifiable as terms of our target audience. The first being a BE graduate from a college in Kolhapur, who's mainly depending on the college campuses to get placements. So this is one platform that would help him. His psychographic segmentations is one that we've identified because for that we understand his touch points, and that's where we can connect with him better and understand his buying behavior on various channels, specifically Facebook, how he's interacting on various platforms like Book My Show, going and booking tickets. That's where we can also place our the product that we're offering, where either you book my show or you book your job. So we will be digging deep in the strategies, but just to give you a fair example of how the psychographic segmentation is done. The next is the blue collar jobs that we're doing. Motilal is a driver. He's just completed his HSC and down from somewhere downtown Pune. He is coming down to Mumbai for an economic stability to support his family back in his village. He's more engaged through nowadays with a lot of internet penetration, with a lot of social media platforms, a lot of public transports, and there are groups that they really refer to.
Considering the lean canvas, now the current crisis are the government, the Indian recruiters are majorly not focused on the quantity, but the quality of the candidates which are coming on board. So considering this, we performed a lean canvas wherein there are various segments based on our assumptions, the unique value propositions which we offer, and the competitive advantage here I would tell is direct tie-ups with the institutions. For example, being an engineer, I was solely totally dependent on the TPO, training and placement officer, but he is not capable of placing everyone in the college. So why not go and pitch directly about easy jobs there? If he cannot recruit everyone there, then easy job can do it. Then cost of acquisition. Here job postings will be spoken about by Bhupen. The premium charging, this one is our USP. Here we are dividing it into gold, silver and the bronze packages for every candidate. Now gold is something where cream companies will give what they need in the candidate. I mean in terms of learning or training. And we'll set up the examination, and the candidate will go through the examination with the fees of 500 rupees, and he'll be listed as the gold candidate, and the recruiters will be given the profile. And silver is once a candidate is scoring between 65 to 80% in the examination, automatically the candidate comes to silver, and he'll be termed as he's open to all the jobs specific to that domain. And the bronze one have not taken up the examination, and they are open to any of the profiles. Commission on successful conversion rates based on the industry standards, we have found out that it's 8.33 once the candidate gets placed in any of the firms. Then free onboarding process. This is not mandatory for every candidate, but there's a column given for the candidate to put on the previous job information on how they felt about the company. This gives an idea of if it is the company is reliable or not, if the recruiter is reliable or not. The premium subscription, as I mentioned, and the profile verification, this will be done with the minimum fees of 500 to 800, and the company also has to pay a top-up of 500 to get those profiles from us. And the revenue models are as follows. Any company cannot succeed without gauging some revenues. So this is charging the recruiters, commission from recruiters on successful conversion rates, application fees from the candidates for verification tests, and then ad space. Now one major thing is mostly the banks get the data from these talent platforms of the candidates, so then they can push their products like loans to the candidates, so they are one of the customers, we can state. Then tie-ups with career consultant. When the candidate has failed in 3 to 4, 5 jobs, so he can go to career consultants and ask them for suggestions.
So in short, we have got the insight that we are more focusing on verified testing, that is giving rather irrelevant CVs, we are focusing on verified candidates. So talking about a cost structure for job postings, it depends on number of job posted, login IDs provided to recruiters, and also the database we are providing, that is IT database or non-IT database. So actually we did primary research, and we came to these points. This is the costing we have provided. As you can see, the number of job posting increases, per job costing decreases. Next slide. Then this is the important part, Guerilla Techniques. So what happens is we are mostly focusing on tier 2 and tier T3 cities, where actually pool campuses are happen. We can actually tap the emotional quotient over here. When the candidates get rejected from these pool campuses, we can show this posters where you can say life always offers a second chance, and we can actually tap this emotional quotient and ask them to download the app. Next. So this is the costing. Next slide. Then in this second idea, we are tapping the bookstore, where actually we have a ready-made segmentation according like science, commerce, sports, anything. So accordingly we can post that what easy jobs actually offer there. Next. This is also costing for this. Next. Then we are the most common touch point for all our target group is public transport, and we can provide handles with easy jobs, which is saying easy jobs is there to uphold you. This can actually make a sense. Then next slide. This costing for this. And then in tier 2, tier 3 cities, still people go to cyber cafes to fill the exam forms, government exam forms. So actually we can provide these posters over there and can grab the attention, as we need a brand awareness, and ask them to download the app. This is the costing. Next slide. Then fifth idea is actually this is a push marketing. We can provide this QR codes of easy jobs in canteens, and can ask the canteen owners, because they have a good rapport with the crowd, to ask download the app and give little bit insights about easy jobs. Next slide. So we know memes are the one that can easily viral our brand. So you can see here, dropped out of school, unemployed, get master's degree, unemployed, but easy jobs, surely employed. this kind of memes. Then using pull strategy, we can actually make the website more informational and give knowledge. And by using SEO techniques, we can actually tap the ones who are searching about anything related to jobs. Then deep market penetration is the same, that we are tapping tier 2, tier 3 cities. For rurals, actually we can create some events, awareness events about jobs. Then use of influencers as YouTubers and all this. Then tap in the meme business, as I said. Then you can we can actually use AI in keyword extraction, so that the work for the employer side will be hassle free, and use of applicant tracking system as mentioned by Nidhi. So last slide. So have you downloaded the app yet? Easy jobs.
Thank you. Fantastic. Judges, I actually got a brilliant idea right now while I was listening to their presentation. I'll talk about it once you're done with your questions. And maybe Jyoti and team can use that idea. Fabulous idea. Can I give it out right now, or are you asking the question? After the last presentation. Great.
Just to understand, you said cyber cafes is one of the options, right? Could you throw some more light on how good that segment or a business format as such is working?
Because when you come to cyber cafes, there are two kind of candidates. One is coming for filling the exam form, so he's in the right mindset in building the...
My question.
Okay.
Cyber cafes as a business,
Yeah.
how prominent it is today?
So that's why I'm saying in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, not in metro cities.
I heard that.
Yeah.
So you think it's still a very prominent...
Because I am from tier 2 cities and I
Fair.
have seen that people still go there and have that faith. That's why.
Any more questions? No?
Name?
Yeah. The group.
Just representing that segment, that's about it.
Elitists. I'm just pulling your leg. I said elitists. I'm just pulling your leg. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much. Good job. Now, do we have the do you want to ask a question? No. Right? Okay, now we have the final team for the day? What is the name of the team? The winning team. Wow. Is it just a coincidence that the last team is called the winning team? All right.
Good afternoon, judges and colleagues. We are the winning team from NMIMS Mumbai. Raghav and Prakhar could not make it because of their placement exam. Myself, Rishabh. So, firstly, talking about the industry. So, there is 16% growth in the market from 2018 to 2019 itself. The major demand factor for this growth was influx coming in from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And also major jobs coming up in retail, telecom, and hospitality segments. Now, the urgency for this has come in from the urgency for scaling up the solutions because of this influx, and also the need for the skill and behavior data in the market. Now, going digital is a primary factor in the industry, as there is about 100 million consumers adding up to the online market and making it about 700 million online consumers in India by 2023. So we did a focus group study by making a few people download the application. Now, in general, 92% of those people were looking for specific jobs and specific notification for the jobs. And 82% wanted a quick response for that instant gratification. So now Easy Jobs does exactly that with the chat system. But the issue here is that the working professionals as well as the students, they look for jobs at night. And that's the time when this chat feature is not available. There is a suggestion that a chatbot can be created to cater to that. Talking about the security, the profile is available to everyone. So it's a general profile, which a lot of consumers do not dislike. So that can be made relevant to the jobs they are applying to. Now, talking about the filters, there is no internship or part-time job filter, so that can also be added. And there is no in-depth detailing of the job description. So this can also add on to make it, to remove fake profiles on the job. The major gaps identified here were in terms of app experience. Some of the one app experience was that user did not get a navigation, navigation instruction in the in the beginning of the app. There was some standardization could be provided in the job descriptions. the most popular jobs could have been shown on the landing page itself, and location option could have also been enabled in the app. Talking about the customers, there is very limited interaction with the students, with the job seekers on the online platform. There is little engagement on online mediums, and so the right job for the right person is also not coming up, because the notification which came after the download of the app were for irrelevant jobs. So that can also be looked into. Talking about the job supply, now here we can also target the placement team as well as the project teams of the colleges. Being a part of that particular team, I understand the pain point in that particular area wherein we look for jobs, and we would be happy to, more than happy to connect with apps like Easy Jobs. Now talking about the SWOT analysis, the major strength of Easy Jobs here is chat-based system, and also importantly the flexibility to change. Since we are new in the market, now this is the time when we can create that differentiation without impacting the current positioning of the brand. Now we have 6 different things in our marketing strategy. So the number one thing is, so when we searched for Easy Jobs on the Google, we saw that the first link was naukri.com. Now that is very ironical to the fact. So now we can target specific, by search engine optimization, we can target the specific keywords like jobs near me, online jobs, apply jobs. These keywords can be targeted so that to increase the ranking on the page itself. Secondly, as Sudhesh sir mentioned about the blogs, this is a zero cost commitment. Now here we can write posts about blogs about 20 top paying jobs in the world, top interview hacks, weekly success stories, because this will also increase our page ranking, and publish them through Facebook, Instagram, and several other pages. Thirdly, talking about the Instagram and Facebook campaigns. So one of the campaigns which naukri.com is running right now is Monday Blues. So now why target only Mondays? We say that we target the entire week. Now we start with Motivation Mondays, then we can have Woke Wednesdays, and at the end we can have Fun Fridays. And I'll be talking about that in detail in a minute. Now lastly, Chat with My Dream Job. So now what we see is that 8 out of 10 people look 60% of the time in local stations in Mumbai at the staircases. We can have on every alternate staircase, we can have Chat with Your Dream Job and Easy Job chat. So that will create, even unintentionally, it will create a recall for the brand. Talking about one more important aspect here is job fairs. Now job fairs are major platform to recruit people in our country, because there are a lot of pool placements happening. So that is somewhere Easy Jobs can go get into, and also recruit there and also onboard new companies in their brand portfolio. Talking about the collaboration with super apps. So Paytm is the first sustainable super app in the country. Now these super apps have an education sector and the job segment entirely separately. But however, there are no specific job portals on that. So we can have that, and we can tap into 450 million registered users and about 130 million active users. Lastly, the point-based reward system. So to increase the stickiness of the app. Now we can have that point-based reward system. How? So that the consumer who will upgrade their profile, the more you upgrade your profile, the more relevant that profile becomes to the recruiter, as well as will reward them points. On the basis of the points, your profile will be shown on top of the list. We have made some marketing content. So talking about the Monday motivation. So stuck in the wrong job. So the individuals who are coming from the job, so that on Monday it pains them the most that, okay, I'm not fit for this job. According to an EY survey, there was about 87% of the people who are unhappy with their job. So now that we can target them, and these are some of the creatives. So for example, a snail in a disco bar. So the movement is restricted, so he's stuck there. So similarly for the others, and then at the end we can see we can write something like, for a fresh start, search, chat, and get hired. Then talking about Woke Wednesdays, therein you can trigger that particular sentiment in the customers itself by giving them quotes like, marketing is a skill which is not acquired, which is not everyone's cupcake. Is it yours? Something like that to generate that recall about the brand. And lastly, we can have the final trigger at the end on a Friday, wherein we can give something which is not directly said, but triggers that thinking process in a consumer's mind. Talking about the cost of acquisition. Now there are 2 different types of models which the industry follows as of now. One is that they have monthly subscriptions for the companies which ranges about $300 to $500, and second is the cost per click, which is used by Indeed, which is $1 to $5. What we say is, why don't we have a hybrid model for this? Cost per apply. Now, when you apply, when a employee, a student or a job working professional applies to that job, now that is when we charge our customers, and also it is a monthly subscription plan. So, for example, 100 rupees per apply. So for this, we saw that there is an average of 500 applications per post in a job market. Now, wherein if we look at 50% conversion rate, we are looking at about 25,000 rupees from one company itself, which is still lower than the competition. So we can get into the market with the competitive pricing here. Second is cost of acquiring customers. So what we said about the job fairs was, so we are roughly estimating that 30,000 would be the cost of one job fair in 20 cities, where we'll spend about 6 lakh rupees. In 20 such job fairs, 6 in DU campus, 6 in Mumbai University, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Jaipur and Kolkata. So these are the primary applier for the job is at about 12.5 rupees. Talking about some more about financials, so it's at an average it's at 18%. What we suggest is we start with 25% because it is the initial phase there, wherein we have to push a little bit, and roughly estimating about 24 lakhs of budget for this, wherein job fairs had about 25%, which is 6 lakh rupees, wherein 4.8 lakh rupees for the camp Guerilla week, which we suggested initially, and so on for 20 and 15% for social media and SEOs. Lastly, there is a potential of about 121 million profiles in the market. Now, there is about 70% of the market is already taken by Naukri.com. We are looking at conversion of about 5% from our marketing campaigns, wherein we are looking at about 6 million consumers. Out of 6 million, if we have a 10% success rate, we are looking at about cost of 75 lakh rupees. Now these companies, this is the cost we are incurring. Now the companies, we are getting 25,000 per company as suggested before. With onboarding 300 firms, we will break even for this particular cost. And if we go on to onboard 400 and 500 firms, we will have a profit of 25 and 50 lakhs accordingly. Thank you.
You were impeccable. Absolutely. Bang on time. Fantastic. Any questions, Jury? Yep.
One of the reason Telugu speaking people greatly successful in software in India and abroad is because in the third tier cities we have opened engineering colleges. Not only because it's traditionally it's first tier colleges, engineering college opened, then we went to the second tier, and then third tier like villages, there are engineering college if you go. So this guerrilla marketing I feel strongly will be successful if it can be targeted to the third tier cities. And how it can these guerrilla marketing and target third tier cities, people in third tier cities. If you see this in the software people, you can see the stories. If you go to Infosys campus, many of them come from like auto driver sons, maid servant sons, meat vendor sons. They're all from third tier cities. These guerrilla marketing, how it can actually target that, then you can have a major chunk of people actually coming onto the board.
Thank you so much for the question, sir. So, sir, actually there are two different techniques which I suggested over here will work for in this particular sense. So, first is as I already spoke in the initial phase of this, that 100 million online consumers are coming in from these cities in the market by 2023, making it up to 700 million consumers online. So, there so online campaigns which I said about Monday Blues, and these will be targeting those consumers as well as I said about Facebook and Instagram, which targets about 400 million consumers, out of which 150 to 200 million consumers are from these tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, because they are active users on Facebook now. Now, second thing about the job fairs. So, all the premium colleges already have their placement department for their jobs. Now, these are the consumers who come to these job fairs at this particular time. So, this is the major target wherein we will be able to target these particular consumers. So, I think we'll be able to cater to them as well on that particular point.
You have any idea how much it costs to associate with Paytm? Suggestion which you have given?
Yes, so I did not know the exact cost, but I spoke to one of my senior in Flipkart, who has been working over there. He said that for initial entry in that particular segment would be about 2.5 lakhs, which we considered here about 2.4 lakhs, which is 10% of the revenue.
Yep. Are we sorted? Any more questions? Deepali, Hari, all done? Yeah, perfect. Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you so
done.
much.
We'll break for lunch.